when we get to the back end of your book, we're gonna set up the back end of your book where it's going to, there's going to be a first, you know how you guys give them $500 off if they buy today, I think is what you're
Yeah.
doing? Okay. And that works to a certain, I'm sure, that's probably effective, but, the way we always did it was, we told them, look, here's the price of the Rainbow, the price of the power nozzle, the price of the Aquamate, which you can earn on the LEED program, and we had the various prices listed. We totaled it up, there was this number, and then we said, now, if you'll do three things, we're gonna do something for you. Number one, if you'll trade in your old vacuum cleaner, we took their vacuum cleaner out of their house. Okay, and I'll explain to you why here in a minute. Not because we really wanted them, but because there's a couple different reasons. If you order today, you trade in your old vacuum cleaner and you give us 8 referrals, we're going to give you this much off, in your case, $500, and brings the price down to this price. Here's the payment plans, which one's best for you, basically, is how we would close the deal, right? Now, the reason I want the vacuum cleaner, and I was kind of shocked, because I told Jane and these guys, I'm coming down to do some vac kills. I said, where do you keep your vacuum cleaners? And they go, what vacuum cleaners? I said, you know, all the trade-ins. Oh, well, we don't get the trade-ins. Okay, well, here's what you're doing with it. Now, this particular person bought yesterday. And it was easy to take this one because the lady was saying that the trash man probably wouldn't take it. And she didn't know what she was gonna do with it. And Jane knew that we needed a vacuum, so Jane said, well, take it. And Felicia, oh, you'll take it for me? Oh, that's wonderful, right? Now, there's a couple different reasons why you want to get the vacuum cleaner out of their house. Number one, it reduces the chances of cancellation. Because here's what happens, okay? Now, I used to always try to get the people to use the machine immediately. Once I left, I would change the water, put a fragrance in there, hook it all up, put the power nozzle on and say, now, before you go to bed, I want you to do your bedroom carpet and mattress. So I would get them to use it, okay? But what happens is, here we go. Tomorrow, they buy a Rainbow. They wake up. They got the Rainbow sitting over there, and they're not really sure if they really know how to use it yet. Okay, right? And they got their Hoover over here. And they gotta do a quick cleanup. What are they gonna do? They're gonna grab the Hoover, okay? That's why you wanna get the vacuum cleaners out of the house. I'm telling you right now, your cancellation, I don't know what your cancellation percentage is. The standard is we're gonna lose 15%. Our gross to net in the domestic market is 85%. That means we lose 15% to credit turned down at the finance company or buyer remorse. In other words, understand that when you sell 10 Rainbows, you're gonna net 8.5. Just understand that going in, that way when you get a cancellation, it doesn't crush you. And you don't become a beaten animal about it, okay? Because some people, I've seen that blow people out of the business when they got their first cancellation. You will get a cancellation sometime if you haven't already experienced that. So let's just make sure we understand that, okay? And we're also going to lose a deal here and there to financing, especially if you don't qualify your leads right. And with SurveyMonkey and Facebook Doc, Google Doc, because of the fact that you really didn't have an opportunity to maybe qualify them when you did the Facebook shot and you sent out that, you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good. You might, first of all, that might be going out to 300 or 400 people on their Facebook. Now, I mean, for you to sit there and try and qualify everybody that's going to go to, it's impossible. So you have to rely on the return survey that says, I'm in this age group, I make this, I do that, I'm a homeowner, I'm blah, 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 you know. But keep in mind, just like a home show lead, people sometimes will put misinformation on those forms, okay?
You mean they lie?
Yeah, they lie, people do, I know it's hard to believe, but some people actually lie from time to time.
Oh.
And, you know, it's rare, but it happens, okay? Because remember, they're wanting to get their what?
Raymond.
Rainmaker. $150 value, $200 value, whatever retail you have on your Rainmaker. $149, $179, whatever it is, okay? So they want that Rainmate, so they will maybe fudge on their
Qualifications.
qualifications, okay? Now, if you find yourself in a demo where it's a one-legger, does everybody know what a one-legger is?
Yeah, wife without a husband.
Wife or a husband without a wife,
Exactly.
okay?
Call them a one-legger?
One-legger,
Not 2 legs to stand.
that's what we used to call them, one-leggers.
Wow.
You run into a one-legger, what do?
You leave.
You
kick 'em.
reset the demo and leave. We cannot afford to give somebody credit towards earning their rainbow and giving them cookware and Aquamates and rain jets and all this other happiness that we spread around the countryside, okay, on unqualified demos, okay? And you gotta know what that is, all right? Now, that one's easy to spot because obviously there's only one of them there.
And also, they both have to watch. I had one person say, well, he's here, but I didn't know he had to watch. Well, that's why we want him here. They're both going to sit and watch, or I'm going to reschedule the appointment. I'm sorry if it's a bad time.
And that's what we tell them when we book the appointment. We want them both, look, we're giving them a Rainmate for the demo. That's enough, there's enough power there, we can tell them what we want. Okay? This is what you gotta do to get the Rainmate. You don't have to buy anything, but you both have to look and blah, blah, blah,
And
right?
when they complain about deployment, say, well, it's okay, we'll hold it for you till he returns. You know, when he
Oh,
comes
yeah, okay.
back,
Yeah, well,
we'll hold
yeah.
it, no problem, but you
We'll
know.
come back, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, now, with that being said, let's talk about this here dust pump, okay? Now, look, there are 400 plus different kinds of vacuum cleaners out there. You never know what they're gonna drag out of the closet, what contraption's gonna come out of there, right? That's even if you do a vac kill, and I would strongly suggest you do. Because one of the reasons they're gonna buy a Rainbow is because they realize that this thing doesn't work. Okay? Now, you can explain it to them with a picture, or you can show it to them by tearing the thing apart. Okay? Now, we call it a vac, some people used to call it a vac knock. I call it a vac kill. You kill it. You're like a Navy SEAL. You're going in with one mission, destroy the vacuum, okay? So, no matter what they bring out of the closet, understand that there are 4 basic parts to a vacuum cleaner. There's the intake, where the air and dirt allegedly goes in, okay? There is an exhaust somewhere on this machine. Now, this is one of the quote-unquote bagless ones. So usually they have a HEPA filter on the side or something. Okay, so it's in the front. Oh, look at that, not a beauty? HEPA technology.
This is, oh, that's.
That's
your
another
foot.
filter.
Yeah.
That's the filter to trap the dust that goes through the first filter. And there's probably another filter that traps the dust before it gets to that filter. And then there may be another one that gets the dust before it goes through the 3 filters and blows out into your air. Okay, because see, okay, there's 4 parts: intake, motor, exhaust, and some kind of filter. Whether it's a bag or a series of filters they put on the side or whatever on these machines, the quote-unquote bagless ones. Because what they do is they make people believe that this has no bags to clog up. Okay, well, I understand that, but there still has to be a filter somewhere, okay? Or else you'd be spraying meteorites around your house. Because whatever went in the machine would just blow out of the machine. You see, there has to be some type of filter to trap the dirt. Now, I don't care whether it's paper, cloth, foam rubber, whatever. If you put it under a microscope, it's gonna look like this. It's gonna have thousands of tiny little holes to let the air pass through, and then the bigger particles clog the filter. Now, the vacuum cleaner works on the principle that the volume of air going into the machine must equal the volume of air coming out of the machine. Now, what happens is, as the filter, the bag doesn't have to be full. It just has to be coated with dirt. Now, the airflow is restricted. Because see, what cleans is movement of air, not suction. You ever hear, well, ours got suction. They pick up bowling balls with it and stuff. Okay, suction has nothing to do with cleaning ability. Okay, if suction cleaned, I could clean my house with a plunger. Okay. A vacuum is a absence of air, a nothing, if you look it up in the dictionary. So, suction has nothing to do with cleaning ability. I don't care how much suction you got. Do we have a rainbow hooked up?
But I use my power nozzle most of the time, but I keep the non-power nozzle hooked up to the floor brush.
That's airflow. That's suction. Okay. Right now, we're cleaning nothing. Okay. Because we have airflow, we can clean something. Okay, now do me a favor. Put your pad in. Put this over the quarter. Make sure it stays flush on the box. Don't move it, okay? Now, if suction clean, that quarter would be gone, right? Okay. Don't move it. Wait till it stops. Okay. Got it? Quarter didn't go anywhere. So what's good to suction? What does that do?
Nothing.
Okay. Now, let's apply some airflow. That's airflow. Where'd the quarter go?
In the water.
Oh, it's in the water. Because see, we have airflow. Okay? Now, if you're gonna do that little thing in somebody's house, make sure they hold the, when you're doing suction, make sure they hold that down flush against the box. Because if you allow airflow through there, the quarter's gonna be gone.
Right.
Okay, now, so the point is that, that's why when you buy vacuum cleaners, in the manual, it tells you to change the bag after every use. Can you imagine what that would cost? How many times do you clean your vacuum in your house?
Not every time.
Or
Okay.
just a room at a time.
Yeah. They're telling you to change the bag every time you use it. Why do they say that? Number one, because they know the bag clogs up and therefore the airflow is reduced and now the machine can't vacuum anymore. Can't pick up dirt. Okay? Now, but you know, you say, but yeah, but the bag's full. Do you ever take a vacuum cleaner bag out and it's like all fluffy? See, it's not filled with dirt, it's filled with dog hair, lint, string,
Dust.
parts of the carpeting that's being, and the furniture that's being cut by the sand and grit that's being left behind by the vacuum cleaner. Okay? Floor, hose. Man, this is a doozy, this puppy. How do you take it apart, you know? Oh! We got a filter. Oh, that's a filter for the motor. Huh.
Pull that out. It's probably dirty on the bottom of that.
This one don't come out there.
Let's see. I'm messing with this a lot. This should be. See? Yeah, pull that.
Ah.
The new filter, they put it in.
So they say it's they make it washable, but then the thing is, even after every use, you're gonna have to wash it. Every room you clean, you're gonna have to wash your filter. 'Cause it's doing
So I went into this house last
If
night.
you don't boil it, you're not gonna get the bacteria
Yeah,
out
you-
anyway.
Yeah, I went into this house last night and I said, well, I'm sure you probably, because part of my vat kill is, I'm sure you probably don't, every time you use your vacuum, I'm sure you probably don't wash it down, boil it in water, stick it out in the sun, let it air dry, build it back together and stick it in the closet. I say, you vacuum, stick it in the closet. They're like, no, he does it every time. I was like, oh, okay, blah, 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 we're going through. I was like, can I see your vacuum? He brings it out, it's full of dirt. I was like, oh, I guess you forgot to wash it this time.
But they think
They're gonna lie
dumping out
to
the
you. That's
canister.
why you
yeah,
make sure when you ask
They
questions.
think dumping that dirt out of the canister is cleaning.
That's like
No,
how
you
it
have
works
to
differently in the future.
detach this whole machine.
You smell that?
I know, I hate
can't
that
stand
smell.
the Yeah, I hate the smell.
Vacuums. Oh,
Now, why does it smell?
Like
Just got bacteria in it.
It's germs,
It's living
bacteria.
there.
right.
Because see, what you do pick up, you leave in there, you put it in the closet, it's warm in there, it's dark in there, it's filthy in there. And there's moisture, because when you run the vacuum, the motor heats up, you turn it off, it cools down, it causes condensation, which supplies the perfect conditions for germs and bacteria to grow, breed, and multiply. They say you could fit 1,000 germs on the head of a pin. How many pinheads could you fit in an area this size? So see, what you end up doing is you take, every time you're gonna vacuum, you take this machine out, and see, if this wasn't leaking, there wouldn't be dust all over here. See all this dust? Okay. You take this machine out of the closet, you push it around every square inch of your home, you take the God-given air you breathe, you pass it through this massive filth, infested with millions of germs and bacteria, and then you blow it out into the air for you and your family to live in. I mean, isn't that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So glad this is recorded.
Okay, this has got some magical lock on it.
On the-
Why don't you go?
Yeah.
You can smell that all
We're
over.
gonna open that all
Oh,
up
oh,
when
look.
I'm leaving.
Yeah, but my vacuum, the bag's full when I take it out. What's it full of?
Grossness.
90% of your bag's filled up with fluffy material. Dirt is not fluffy. If your vacuum cleaner bag was filled up with dirt, it would be like a 5-pound bag of sugar. God, that thing stinks.
Thank you.
I would suggest wearing gloves on. when
I
you
do.
go.
I have kitchen gloves that go up to my elbows and I wear a mask
Yeah, there you go.
every time. I say, sorry, no offense to you, but I suit up
Seriously,
at
I
every
mean,
house
get
and
some
I
of
put on
those
gloves and a mask.
disposable gloves, like those ones you take out of the box. Because when you start messing around with this stuff, you don't know what you're dealing with. I mean,
Mhm. I won't touch it.
In Zam's book, Why Your House May Endanger Your Health, he has in there that a thimble full of vacuum cleaner dirt was demonstrated to contain over 5 million germs and bacteria in each ounce. 5 million germs and bacteria. Among the bacteria found were streptococci, sarsenate, tetrax, hemolytic bacteria, gas formers, non-gas formers, all really good stuff for you and your family to be breathing. Okay. So what happens is after 10 minutes of use, these filters all clog up. The sand and grit stays behind. Okay. If you have a, okay, that'll work. The sand and grit stays behind. Okay, we got a little sand and grit there. So the vacuum clogs up, it's no longer picking up, now what I used to use, I would use my, those brown papers that are in between the test cloths?
Yeah.
That's what I would use here. And I'd go, what's this sound like?
Thank you.
Sandpaper. So what happens is your vacuum cleaner loses efficiency. The bag clogs up, the filters clog up, it doesn't pick up the dirt, leaves the dirt behind in your carpeting and furniture. You sit down in your furniture, you run your vacuum over the carpet, people walk across it, it would be like me putting crushed diamonds in between my fingers. Sooner or later, my fingers would fall off, okay? Well, that's what happens to your carpeting and your furniture. The sand and grit wears away at the fibers of the carpet and furniture, and then the bag fills up with the lighter particles, which is your furniture being destroyed by the sand and grit that's being left behind by your vacuum cleaner. Let me ask you a question. Does this sound like a healthy way to, or efficient way to clean your home? Can you fix it? How are you gonna fix it? You can't fix it. They've spent hundreds of years trying to fix these things. There's only one way to fix it, that's water. And now I'm back into the rainbow. Okay? Now, if you really want to live on the edge, okay, turn it on. And put your light over top of it.
With the canister off, right?
No, leave the
Then you
canister
put it
on.
on.
Leave it on.
Take it, I lay it on top of the box, like you
Yeah.
know, just lay it flat on top of the box like
So
that.
build it back together like it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You
Go ahead,
can
Jay.
do that first.
Yeah, can we do?
I would put it first. I don't know how to put them back together.
No, I don't.
And I don't put them back together.
I'll put it back.
If you put it back, if you leave it, if you start with it together, then you can do it, and then you can take it all apart and leave it.
Here, Aaron.
Or on the front. I've seen them on the
Oh, there it
front.
is. Okay, watch. So go like this, make this flat, okay? And then stick it like that, and then turn it on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Upright, I want to see what it does upright.
The stuff is going out, and you can smell it.
Look at the top of
This is where it's going out right there. You want to, yeah, this is the exhaust right here.
Yeah, I mean, if it was keeping the stuff in the back, here, if it was
Turn it off.
This is Joe's, if your vacuum was picking the stuff up and keeping it in the container, then why is this
The
on
whole
there?
house, I've actually sucked up somebody's vacuum.
I'm just
on the
saying, I mean,
outside.
duh.
Yeah,
And then what I was saying to you, Edie, one thing too, what I was saying is, I swear to God, the way you word things is vitally important. You never want to ask a question to where you can get the wrong answer. And changing the words around makes a huge difference. The way you ask that question, now you're not going to go ahead and clean. When you say that, they can go, yeah, I will. Of course
Right.
I do. I clean
Yeah.
all the time.
Right.
Why is that? Okay, they're trying to, it's a game. They're going to try to stump you, okay?
Right, right.
So the first thing is don't ever talk about their vacuum until they bring it out, okay?
Right.
Can I see your vacuum? Oh, we have a Dyson. Oh gosh, I've heard those are really, really good. Can I see it? You know, stroke them. They're proud of that vacuum. They went to the store and they bought it, and they'll tell you, oh, I do all this research and this and that. So they spent all this time and analysis and research, and they came to this conclusion. You don't want to insult them. Let them realize that they made a bad decision. They
Right.
come to that conclusion themselves. So get the vacuum cleaner out, and when it's all filthy like this, because they all are, 90% of the time, they'll giggle. And I say, why do people always laugh when they're gonna, well, we normally clean all the time, but we forgot this time.
Right, yeah.
They're
How
full of shit,
convenient.
okay? Yeah, but they're gonna bring it out, it's gonna be filthy 90% of the time, okay? And then you say, well, gosh, now I'm sure, you probably did a lot of research when you bought this. This looks like a pretty good, fancy machine, right? I'm sure you did a lot of research when you got it. Of course we did, okay? Well, I'm sure then you obviously read the manual, and I'm sure that certainly every time you use it, you follow the directions and you clean the filters after each use, don't you? I'm sure you do, right? Oh, of course I do, of course I do. I just forgot this last time. Okay, great. Well, then now you can pull it all apart and get into it. You know what I mean? But they're going to go along with what you said. You know what I mean? Don't let them. If you ask it the wrong wording and they argue with you, then you're arguing with them. You know what I'm saying? So you got to lead them along. But then just show them that. Say, look, and you can say, well, ma'am, see all this dirt on here? I mean, if the machine's keeping it all in, why do you think it's all out there? You can see it's really not keeping it in, right?
Yeah.
And when you can smell it, obviously,
Yeah.
And then rip it all apart, show
Right.
the filters, and then bash on them and make all the shit everywhere. And then leave it apart. I don't put it back together because they.
No, I don't put it back together.
Well, what
I
I'm
make
saying
them
is
do it.
No, I don't want them to put it back together. Why would you put it back together?
Because I use their vacuum.
No. What I'm saying is, well, I would do that first before I take
Easy
it all
to put it
apart.
in your car
Oh, yeah,
and bits
yeah.
and pieces.
It's easy. I don't even really want it in the car. I'm going to put it in the car and throw it in the trash can. The second I get back here after the 3-day, notice the cancellation is up. I mean, the thing is, they shouldn't want to ever. And you can tell if you did it right. If they're going and putting it all back together, you didn't make your point. They think that they can still, that it's still like they should really run it. Like Tim said, his customer last night. You know, he said that it was funny because I texted him to remind him to take it. And he said it's so funny the timing of it because I knew what time he was in the demo. You know, he called him the sale, and then he said that the people had just said, well, what are we supposed to do with it? The trash people are probably going to take it. Would we just stick it outside on the porch? You know what I mean? Like, and he was like, well, as a matter of fact, they want us to bring it back to the office. But I'm just saying, you can watch their subtle signs when they're going to try to. You know, you got to realize they're starting to realize, uh-oh. You know, I'm gonna have to buy this there. You know, they start, and so they'll do subtle things like they'll try to put the little. You watch when you spread those cloths out. You spread them out. You know, but the people will come right behind. They'll try to take it and fold it all up and throw them in the trash because they think, ooh, if I can throw the little cloths away, it's gone. And,
Right.
you know, put it all back together nice. And why would you? It's a joke. I mean, if you're and you know, you can say, look, if your lawnmower, if you went to the mow your lawn and you went over your lawn and your lawn would not cut your grass. What would you do with the lawnmower? If you could not fix the lawnmower, it was a design flaw, what would you do with the lawnmower?
Get a different one.
Right, you wouldn't keep using it when it's
Right.
not working, right? What if your refrigerator wasn't keeping your food cold and you couldn't fix it because of the design? What would you do with it?
Get a new one.
Right, you get a new one, right? Well, guess what? You know, you can see right here, the design of this machine is not going to permit. I mean, the only way this machine will work effectively is if you literally change, not wash, if you literally put a brand new filter in all 4 filters in every room. For the first 5 minutes it might work, but then the second the filter's clogged, game over. And when you show them on the rainbow, and then, you know, it doesn't work, you know? So does it make sense to keep it? I mean, after what you just learned here today, how are you going to feel if you are pushing this thing around tomorrow? Seriously. And I make them answer you. I'll say, Debbie, seriously. After I leave here today, if you have to push this around tomorrow, how are you going to feel?
Grossed out.
What are you going to be thinking? I mean, you know it's not working. It doesn't make any sense
Wasting my
whatsoever.
time.
Yeah.
I mean, what exactly are you accomplishing? You're not getting things clean. You're polluting the air. You're wasting your electricity. Why don't you just get a broom? Seriously, why don't you go get a sweeping broom with no power? It's going to do just the same thing. It's going to spew all this crap around, not get anything clean. I mean, does it really make sense? Wouldn't you agree, sir? But that's the thing. You got to go couples. You got to go back and forth and back and forth. You
Right.
get an answer, okay? And if they giggle, that's not an answer, okay?
Right.
And he goes, I know what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Would you push it?
I don't vacuum my wife.
I know you don't. And you know what? That's what I love about men. And this is what I'll say to a man. You know what? I love, the best thing about, I know most men don't vacuum. I get all that, okay? But I bet you $1 million if I go in your garage, you got a lot of tools, don't you?
I got $6,000 worth of tools in my garage.
That's what most men are going to brag about. I got $6,000 of tools in the garage. Guess what? And you would not, if you had a tool, I don't care if my dad does not use a lot of tools. He's not a handy guy, and this is the truth. But one time in his life, he decided he was going to build a deck. Once, okay? He went out and he got some fancy, expensive, the top of the line saw, okay? He used it one time for the one deck and it's been sitting in the garage unused forever, okay? But Bob, certainly you're a man who, you know, appreciates good quality in tools, right? I mean, that's
Absolutely.
right. And you're not going to use a tool that's not working, right?
Right.
Okay. Do you expect your wife to use a machine that's not working either?
That's her problem.
Well, I'm just saying. Certainly, you wouldn't object, would you?
I'm just teasing. I'm playing
No,
the
but certainly.
Because I vacuum with a rainbow.
But I'm saying certainly you wouldn't object, would you? Just like you deserve the tools that you need to do the. I mean, it's not something like a luxury purchase. We're not talking about a diamond ring or something fancy. We're talking about a tool that does something to clean your house. You know, so certainly you wouldn't expect her to push around a tool that's not working either, would you? Okay, but you got and make sure you're doing that, okay? And make sure you're getting commitments from the husband and the wife. And like I said, giggles. When people feel uncomfortable, a lot of times they won't answer. They'll
Right.
giggle. They'll go, I get what you're saying. I get where you're going. That's not an answer. I'm going
Right.
to make them answer me the right way. And I'm not asking anything illogical. I'm asking simple little statements, simple little questions that are, I mean, they're completely logical. And any normal human being with a freaking brain in their head is going to have to answer the proper way, right?
Right.
And so that, but like I said, if you don't word it that way, you get a totally different answer. You know what I mean? And him saying, you know, throwing it on the wife. Okay, well, it's up to her. Great. So that means you don't object, right?
object to
You wouldn't
getting a
object
good
if she,
tool to work with?
exactly, you wouldn't object, right?
No, I wouldn't object.
Okay, great. And you're not just saying that, right? No, are you kidding me? I say that too. You're not just saying that, right? I mean, I use third-party stories all the time. Can you believe I was actually in the house a couple weeks ago? The reason, I'm sure you guys seem to have a very good relationship. Obviously, you've been together a long time. But you know what? Can you believe I was actually in a house a couple weeks ago? And the man had, it sounds like a garage full of tools. I wouldn't know what they were, but he had all kinds of tools, right? And do you know he actually, when we were in the house with him, he actually said it was okay, you know, and he didn't mind for the wife. But after we left, he badgered her. He was just saying that in front of me. He didn't really mean it. And I felt so bad for that lady. I thought, gosh, how could you be with a man who treats you that way? But I see you're not like that. You really respect your wife. No, you think I'm kidding. I absolutely say, look, I got 1.5 hours in that house to make my point, okay? And I'm not playing around. They don't have to buy it. Don't buy it. But don't bullshit me and don't, you know, I want the truth, okay? When someone says I can't commit to what?
Right, you can, you're just choosing not to.
No, but what I'm saying is, here's the alternative. You got one or two choices. Either the rainbow is staying in your home, okay, or it's not, right?
Right.
So, assuming that you choose not to take the rainbow today, and why, when you can get it free, I don't know why you wouldn't, right? I mean, we have a free option. My whole life, I've been selling in homes, another vacuum and this, there was no free choice, okay? And we sell them all day long, okay? The point is, if the money doesn't have to come from your pocket by you sitting on a couch, okay, why would you not get it? I mean, you know, and the thing is, remember, what's the alternative? If I leave that home, what are you going to do tomorrow? Certainly this isn't going to work. We've already demonstrated that this is not going to work. This is not going to clean your home. It's not going to, it's going to spew bacteria and dust everywhere. So what are you going to do? You're going to have to go to the store and buy something else. What else are you going to buy? What, are you going to go buy another one just like this? What, it's going to work better? It's going to be the same thing, right? So if you're going to spend a couple $100, why would you spend any more money? Why wouldn't you invest in the one thing that's going to keep your house clean and work, and you don't have to spend, it's not coming out of your pocket. As long as you're willing to sit there with us, how freaking hard is that? But I mean what I'm saying, you know? And so like I said, I'm not going to, when they say, well, you know, well, what? Barbara,
Well,
can you handle sitting on a couch? I think you can. You've been sitting here for quite some time. Bob, can you handle sitting on a couch?
I can handle sitting
Because I think you're really good at it. You're really good at sitting. I've been watching. Now see here, Edie here, she's getting her machine for free. You see she's breaking a sweat here sitting on that couch. It's really killing you, Edie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look how hard she's working over here, you know? And I make a joke out of it, you know? And when I say it that way.
help book the demos.
What?
We do have to help book the demos. So
What do you mean book the demos?
there is time and work involved in that.
Yeah, but you don't mention
What?
that at the
Yeah, you know, I mentioned that. Yes.
What are you talking about?
Time.
when they have
book
to
the demos.
Time?
when they have to.
No. Wait a minute, Barbara. Because no, remember, after the rainmate, they already booked a demo. Remember, Barbara, the lady that you talked to? You know what? I'm going to change the Facebook thing. Remember after the rainmate about 20 minutes ago, you called your friend, and I'm going to your friend with or without you. Okay, one or two choices. If you don't want to get it, you can either come sit on your friend's couch. If you don't want to, then guess what? Edie will be gleeful and happy to go sit on your friend's couch, and it'll count for her free rainbow. So your friend's demo is going to count for one of the two's free rainbow, yours or hers.
Right.
You know. The other thing is this. You know what? By now, we posted that thing on Facebook quite some time ago, right? I bet you, let me pull it up, and I'll pull it up in the house and show them. And that's why I absolutely, I know I was arguing with Tim about it last night. He likes to do it at the end of the demo. You know, he finds it easier to do. He doesn't like to take the break in the demo. I like to do it after I do the rainmate, because by the time I'm done with that demo, I can show the people the people that already applied. Your boy that came in here, you saw that guy. He came in that yesterday. You saw the look on his face when he saw the actual people. When he was surprised that 4 people had replied, but he was surprised at the people that he knew the people. One was his mother-in-law. He's like, really? They replied, like, he was surprised. And if you can show that to the people, say, yeah, look, you've already got 4 demos right there. And the other thing is, too, I did it the other day in the house. The reason I did it in the other house was because the lady did have an instant set for me, and I was scared it was a reject. You know what I mean? And I didn't want it. She had allergies and asthma, but I knew she was poor. I mean, the objection in my house was that the lady couldn't have income because it would disqualify her for something.
Yeah.
Like,
She couldn't get income because it would cut off her disability.
Oh, Jesus, this is bullshit too. So I was trying to hope that there was some good one on that Facebook that I could swap out, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is, and people can say, look, the bottom line is Xavier is a perfect example. You know, I was talking to him yesterday about his something about, he was like, I could do a demo on my break tomorrow from work. I said, your break, yeah, from 8 to 11. I said, what do you mean? He's like, well, I did my Navy work today, and then now I go to my security job from 4 to 8, but there's at the airport, but there's a break from 8 to 11. Planes don't fly or something? I don't know anything, but I said, oh. And he goes, so I can go do a demo then. I'm like, people, you know what, Barbara? You're a busy person. Guess what? I am too. We all are.
Of course.
Everybody is, right? And the thing is this, though, we all make time for things that we want and things that we need and things that we feel are important, right? Okay? The bottom line is this, okay? Can't you see you need it?
Absolutely.
Okay, and if you want it, I'm sure you can squeeze in the time, to do a little bit of work. And this Facebook thing helps. Right now, you don't have to call people much, We got all these names on here, It's an easy way, we know who wants a rainmate. Now they're not all qualified necessarily, but I mean, if you can sit on the couch with us, it's not that hard. But I mean, you gotta, dig in. Don't let them just blow you off and and this and that. They don't do that to me.
Yeah.
Very good, Jane.
I just stopped talking 3 minutes.
That's passion.
But that's why I don't sell every single house, obviously. But I mean, my closing average is very good if it's a qualified lead. But the
Main
thing is,
reason why
I
they're doing
get
it
a
in the first
valid
place is they wanna make a
answer.
change.
I get a yes
Right.
or a no.
Look, they're not stupid, like Jane just pointed out. I mean, when you get done explaining this to them and you take it apart, you turn it on, you blow crap all over the place. I mean, come on. Most people have enough intelligence that they know that this thing does not work.
Now they don't necessarily know that before we do the demo, and that's why you got to watch the timing of when you say things and lead them to say that. I've seen dealers before pull out the vacuum. Oh, they're so terrible. Oh my God, you're gonna piss them off, and they're not gonna listen to anything you have to say because if that person has that vacuum right there, I can tell you right now, they did do research. They tried to find something that was along the lines of a Dyson. They didn't want to spend as much as a Dyson cost, but they didn't buy. I can show you. There's other vacuums.
It's got a quote unquote
Yeah.
HEPA filter.
They think that's like fancy, you know what I'm saying? That costs. If someone spent $200 or $300 on a thing, then they think that they bought a good machine and,
And
they
it's a
spent
wind
time.
tunnel.
Yeah, they did research, so they're going to be proud of their decision. So don't insult them. If they have some bullshit, when you see dirt devils and stuff, they're $99 or $59 or something. Then most people did not care. They bought the junkiest thing. But somebody who has that, they think they made a good decision.
Right.
So if you bring it up prematurely and you tell them that, they're going to get mad at you and insulted, and you're not going to make any headway. But if you walk them through the process and show them the stuff that's coming out, they'll come to the same decision themselves, and they'll realize it. But they're people don't like to be sold. People like to buy. There's a huge difference. Listen to anybody who buys anything, okay? If they're happy with their purchase, they say, I just bought a Land Rover. I just bought a TV. I just bought this. They're happy with their purchase. They made the decision, they thought it through, and they bought it. When someone says, oh man, I got sold a deck or I got sold this, it means they feel that they're dissatisfied with their purchase and somebody suckered them and they're pissed about it. So that's what I'm saying. Let them come to the conclusion themselves so that they're buying the Rainbow. Instead of us trying to sell it to them,
And like when I do the vac kill, I just call it traditional vacuum, and I act like I've never seen a vacuum in my life. Oh, can you show me how to do this? Can you show me how to do
Well, I
that?
genuinely don't know how to take the thing apart.
Yeah, and I really don't. I don't
I
either.
didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, but I act like I've never seen a vacuum in my life. Oh, where's the power switch? Can you plug this in for me? I have them do everything because it's their vacuum. They're the ones that are using it the whole time. So they're the ones that know how to take it apart. And so, I ask them questions about like, oh, when you take it apart, does it always have the dust that comes out of it like this? And blah,
No, yeah. Let me ask you a question. What's all this dust all over the outside?
And the thing is, too, once you finish with that, then they'll start bitching about it. Then once they'll start saying, I've hated this.
I hate that
whatever.
thing.
You know what I mean?
That's
They'll
what
say
you
it
got
to
them
you.
when they start doing that.
They won't say that before they bring it out, though. You know what I
I
mean?
know it doesn't work. I hate it.
You've actually been talking about getting different because I don't like it. All the truth comes out.
yeah.
Okay, so I hope you got a couple pointers on how to kill that here. And I'd be sure if you monkey around with the bag and what's in the pan there, that jar, wear gloves.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing Dawn was saying in her breakdown, whatever, vac kill that I saw when she put it on Facebook, and you guys can link to it. I thought it was a great thing that she brought up. I've never said this before. She was saying how, who gets sick in the home most frequently? And then people say the little kids, right? If they have little kids. And she goes, well, you know why? And then she rattles off the thing about, one thimble full of vacuum dirt has 5 billion bacteria. Well, guess what? Where do the kids play?
On the
They're
carpet. I
crawling
saw
on the
that
floor,
too.
but guess what? I mean, I know that. I
And
do
where's the
before.
exhaust?
That's what she's talking about. Where's the exhaust of the machine? You're cleaning that. You're cleaning more frequently because you got these 2-year-olds running around. Okay, every time you turn that vacuum cleaner on, you're blasting them in the face with that germs and bacteria.
How many bacteria in a Simple Fold?
Over 5.
5 million, and you just pull up the page, Debbie. I'll email you the page.
There's so many
send it out.
documents
You
on this
have it?
stuff.
I don't have
Okay, I'll
that.
email you.
You Google this stuff up, you'll get 10
It's
different reports
disgusting.
on it.
So disgusting.
You
I use that
can
too,
follow up
like
the
when I-
vac kill with the harmonica test on the rainbow.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
do.
That's exactly when you would do it, Bob. That's
Oh,
exactly the
thank
time
Yeah,
you would
because
do
after
it.
this,
Now you gotta prove why the rainbow's
yeah,
different.
this,
You've already-
after this is when you go into the block-offs with
Yeah.
the cloths and the harmonica and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I do too. And I use that too, like whenever they have kids, because I've been in homes that didn't have kids. But I'll say, you're way up here. You're a little bit taller, but the kids are right down here at the level that all of this bacteria is being pushed out into the
Yeah.
air, and they're playing on the carpet. They're breathing it all the time. You're not sitting on the carpet. They are.
And let me tell you, I'm glad to hear you wear a mask.
Oh yeah, I do. I have multiple masks in my bag, and like
Seriously, you will get sick if you do enough of it.
You will.
you will. Yeah, I use I got really cute kitchen gloves from Walmart. They're like flowery and orange. I was like, aren't these cute? This is my suit, and I put on a mask, and I offer them a mask, or I'll tell them to send the kids out of the room, or I'll say, can you back up for me? Yeah. And I'm like, sorry, no offense to you. I do this in every home, and I keep it, even with the gloves and the mask, I'm like,
One thing too is like I
Arms
know that
length.
guy Jerry when he does his vacuum, he makes I said this before. He makes the kit before he turns it on and makes the stuff spew all over the place. He has coloring books in his kit and he gives them to the kids and he says, "Listen, what I'm about to do is really not it's not safe for your children to stay in the room, So why don't you kids go in the other room and color? We're gonna have a little contest." He throws them in the other room and tells the parents, "Look, we got to get them out of here." And then he puts on like a face mask and uses gloves, And it's true, it's disgusting.
and just send me something that says,
So,
hey, please send me
each
the rainbow
person
YouTubes.
has their own. So see how Lisa's name is up here? If I go back, and if I don't already have one made for you, I can do one before you leave. So everyone's is right here, and each has their own separate. And I'll show you why that's important, why each is separate in here in a second. So I'm just gonna go to Lisa's because she's had a ton of success with this so far.
She's got her
She is up to 124 responses, and she just started this last week.
Who's this?
Lisa Baggett.
Now she's posting every day though. That's one thing
Yeah.
different. Okay, she didn't just do it one time.
And it's
She's
on
literally
her
doing it
own.
every single day on her own.
And that week and a half, I guarantee if she went on every single demo and she was asking for referrals, she wasn't going to get 120
Sure,
responses. We struggled to get one per demo,
So the cool thing, it kind of breaks it down here in a view in different bar graphs and pie graphs of how each respondent actually answered to each question. Which, if you're just getting a general overview of how many are qualified at a quick glance, that's important. But what's most important is if you click this little green box right here, it's going to export it into an Excel file on Google Forms here. So let me unfilter it. So this is how it comes through. Well, it actually comes through as these white ones down here, but these ones I've already gone through and either pre-qualified or we've already contacted. So I do have a color coding key I can send you each, so that when you're in here, you know what other colors represent. For example, I'm going to filter down by only single, and I'm automatically going to mark these ones that came through as not qualified because we're not showing any single people. We're only going to show couples because that's our demographic. So what I do is I go to this little paint can up here, and I'm just going to make sure both of the rows that I want to highlight that color are selected, and then I'm just going to mark them red.
Can you blow up your screen a little bit?
I don't
Just make it bigger because it's kind of hard to see. No, on your computer.
You should see what my computer
Yeah.
looks like.
Weird.
My computer's getting smaller.
Oh, wow. Okay, never mind.
Real
So
quick,
that's-
Rach, on their thing, do they have just single or married? Does it say like engaged? Because I'm
It
just.
says cohabitating.
Cohabitating.
Okay, because I was going to
But
say.
that's what
like,
I was gonna. What do you guys think? Look, I don't know about. I I said to Rachel, I would think that it sounds better instead of saying cohabitating, if you put, living with significant other but not married or something like that. I mean, I don't know, what do you?
Because the-
I think
the
cohabitating
options currently
implies that.
The options currently are married, single, cohabitating, or staying with friends or family. So
I think
if they're not staying with a significant other, then
See,
I would think that they would check the box of staying
The
with
only
friends
difference
or
is this,
family.
and I understand what you're saying, and I'm not necessarily disagreeing. I'm just saying, if I saw staying with friends and family, that means to me like I'm staying there, I'm not paying rent, like I'm living with
Yeah.
my mom and dad. To me, cohabitating, if I had a roommate, I would consider that that's cohabitating. That doesn't mean that's my partner or my boyfriend or whatever, and that's why I would like to clarify, because I don't want to show roommates, single people that are roommates. I want to show couples that are like
Okay, but we
couples,
can
you know?
And even
work
if
that
this is
out.
your thing and
Significant
you go through that list and someone might have put single and you're like, oh, they are engaged, they have a significant other, then yeah, we can contact them.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
Liz was significant other.
So, okay, so all these single ones we're not looking at those. So I'm gonna filter down now by cohabitating, which we might be changing, or married. Because that would at least say to me that they are living with someone and someone of importance. So all of these, this first one, how it's read, either it wasn't qualified just by one of the, how they responded to one of the questions, whether, something
Allergies,
exactly
pets.
sure. But also what I'm doing is I'm also looking them up on Case Search, which is their credit history. Now, not everything is going to be showing on that. There's going to be some instances where it's going to slip through the cracks, but it's at least a pre-check.
Yeah, if
of
they're getting
anything
sued.
major.
Red flags.
Yeah.
If they're getting sued or they're getting evicted or something like that, it will show up.
So if something like that comes up, I'm gonna mark them red. It's not worth our time. Or I'm also going to look them up either on Zillow or Google Maps just to kind of take a look at the house, see what we're walking into. If it's looks like they, aren't even making the house payment of what they would be paying in the Rainbow, then probably not. worth
Car with no
marking
wheels
it.
in the front yard.
Yes, so that would be marked red, again, for not qualified. Now, next one is orange. That means that either myself or Lisa contacted them. And in this column R, I will have notes as to when we contacted them. So I have on the 7th, I texted them. And then this green one means that the appointment has already been run. The teal means call back at a later date. As you can see, I made this note here in column R. The husband's deployed, call back in October. So then all of these, I still have to pre-qualify.
So
Now,
the teal is what?
call back at a later date.
And gray is out of our district, and pink is a set appointment.
Yep. And then, so all of these ones just came through either the 13th or 14th. I still have to pre-qualify them. Now, if I have given you access and you want to set your own, certainly you don't have to, but if you want to set them on your own schedule, you are able, and I can give you access. You just have to stay on top of color coding it. Otherwise, I'm going to revoke your access and I'm going to set them up for you. So.
No,
So-
one thing too. Wait, so some people had questions too. When they're, because it shows you which person you showed the rainbow to that like generated that lead or whatever. If the person buys the rainbow, we're not going to set up the demos without that. You know what I mean? So don't like try to steal their leads. Look
Right.
at
Like,
this.
so the link part is what's important. Each dealer has their own different link. The only thing that's different about it is the number in front of each person's. So don't use somebody else's if I give you your own.
Can I ask you, so you said it's BIT dot and you made is it a 1 or an L?
It is a L.
L, okay.
So first off, the dealer, myself,
Let me see what you did.
I send that wording with their link to customer, Barbara. Barbara, customer, gets the verbiage, the little blurb with the link, All they have to do is hold their finger over it, hit copy, and then they're gonna go to their Facebook. And up here, it says, what's on your mind? That's where you all post.
You said go, it said go to camera on customer's cell phone, then take a picture.
Okay,
Where's the Facebook part? Or is there another
You have to
step?
take a picture and have it on their phone before you can even go to Facebook. Because if you try to do all of this with the link first, it screws it up. You have to backspace, start over again.
So this is still, we're going,
Oh, is that
okay,
what
I'm
it
sorry, I
is?
just
That's
didn't
okay.
realize we were
Yeah, you have to
Okay.
start with the photo. And so when you go to Facebook, you add the photo first and then the text.
here, Robert, let's
Okay,
get a picture.
everybody.
A picture with the rainbow. Okay, that's good. Okay, so the customer then has a photo of themselves with their new rainmate on their phone.
So you took this with their phone?
Yes.
Okay.
So then they're going to go. Okay, and then you're going to hit photo. Because you don't even have to copy it. You're going to hit the picture of them with their rainmate. Select it, hit done. And then it says say something about this photo. So you're going to go. So you're going to go back to the text that the dealer sent them with the blurb and the link. Again, you're going to hold your finger over it until it pops up and it says copy. You're just going to hit that copy button. Go back to the Facebook. Double click, and it's gonna pop up and it'll say paste. You just click that. And then underneath their name, if you scroll to the top, like of the post, right underneath it's gonna either say public or private. Some people have all of their posts turned to private so that it'll only show like select friends or whatever. You wanna make sure that it says public.
And that's just for this post, not their whole.
Correct, yeah, it will only
Per
change
post.
their settings on this post, not their whole
Right.
Facebook. All fields are mandatory, so they must fill out each question in order for them to be able to submit the response.
And I'll still go through and walk the step by step on my phone, so it's like on video again, so you can refer back to it. Because you won't be able to see what you did over there on here.
Right.
But I'll go through step by step so you can refer back to it.
Right.
All right, so that's it, right?